What's going on, everybody? My name is Caleb Sells. I'm a full-time reseller, and I recently reached out to you guys, my community, to ask you what kind of content you wanted to see. And the overwhelming biggest response was, we want to see eBay store reviews. We want you to review our eBay stores and tell us how to improve. So that's what we're going to do today. I went to Instagram, I sent out the alert. I said, let me see your eBay stores. We're going to review them live. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to hold back. I definitely do not mean to offend anyone. I am a kind person, so they probably will still be messaged in a kind way, but I am going to point out every little detail, every little thing that I think the person could improve upon. And that brings me to the grading scale. So we're actually going to put a grade on these. I'm going to start with actually reviewing my own store. That will be the template, and then we will go from there. So let me show you guys how we're going to grade these things. Okay. So I'm going to be the first one. We're going to go on consistency. Do you list items every day? Do you list the same amount of items every day? Are you consistently posting on eBay? Because I think that's obviously critical for an eBay store. The next is going to be the quality of items that you put in. If you watch my videos, I talk about this all the time. If you have good items, they're going to sell. Bad items are hard to sell. Good items are easy to sell. The next is going to be the photo quality. This is going to be angles, lighting. Does it look good? Because a lot of times shoppers are shopping with their eyes in the photos. The search and the listing and the title helps you get pulled up in search and promoted listings, but the photo is what can a lot of times sell the item. Next is listings and policies. So that's going to be like, are your item specifics filled out? Is your shipping charging way too much? Are you offering returns? And kind of a catch-all, like if there's just anything that you're doing, not doing that you should be doing, or doing that you shouldn't be doing, we can make up a little bit there. And then sell-through rate, we're going to use the YouTuber math. If anybody wants to come critique my version of sell-through rate, I'm just trying to calculate how many items the person sells based on how many items are in their store. So I know this is not the technical actual sell-through rate formula. I'm aware that we use fuzzy YouTuber math, but that is the easiest way that I can say, are you selling items quickly, or are your items sitting and not selling? So that's how we're going to look at that. What sold in the last 90 days versus how many you have listed. And then I put this section here, which does not calculate into the average, but it would add basically one number onto one of your scores, or however many bonus points you get onto one of your scores, or subtract, because these could be negative bonus points if it's warranted. The example that I use is like, maybe you have really bad feedback score. I don't have a place for that in my current chart, but I need a place to dock some points for having bad feedback. Say you have, I don't know, a really creative thing in your listing that I think is like revolutionary, that could earn you extra bonus points. So that's how we are going to grade these eBay stores. I thought it'd be fun to actually put a score on it, see who has the best eBay store. So I'm going to take a drink of LaCroix. Please sponsor me, LaCroix. And if you're watching right now, or if you're here live, I actually just recently posted a YouTube short. I actually partnered with eBay. That's a really cool thing for me. I've been loving selling on eBay for the last 6 years, provides for my family. So if you wouldn't mind going and watching that short video, because I'd love to work with them again. And if you watch it, make sure you watch it all the way through, so we get that little algorithm bump. I appreciate all you guys, all the support. A lot of kind words on that video already, so appreciate that. Are we ready to jump into? I really liked your last short, actually. Hey, thank you so much, Andrew. All right, I have a huge list from Instagram, and then if we get through all those and I still have time, I'm going to be going until 5 p.m. Eastern, so that's almost 2 hours from now. If we still have time, we'll take them live from the chat. So, all right, this is my store, Caleb Sells Online. Consistency, I already know that I'm getting a 10 in this because I literally never miss listings. So I know I'm going to get a 10 in consistency, but that would be the first thing that I'm going to check when I go into a new store. So you can see the date that it's posted, October 24th. That's today. You can see all these. These are actually recreates from Nifty. You'll see which ones are fresh listings. They're these ones that all went live at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is, I think, what eBay runs off of. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fresh new listings plus all the nifty recreates. I've been listing 13 a day, so I know that's consistent for what I'm trying to do. So on consistency, Caleb Sells gets a 10. All right, item quality. Now, maybe this is where if you're here live in the chat, I want to hear your feedback on this. So let's look at the items that I listed today. We have some vintage Levi's 505s made in USA. You're supposed to be on a Whatnot show. Well, I'm not doing a Whatnot show right now. I'm right here. I have a Polo Ralph Lauren bi swing jacket, BKE Tyler jeans, nice little wide leg ones. We got a New Tags Levi's trucker jacket, vintage LL Bean chore jacket, BKE Derrick jeans, boot cut, Ride 509 snowmobile jacket, Eileen Fisher little nylon fleece line jacket, some silver jeans, a new Carhartt active jacket, some more silver jeans, 100% cashmere sweater, and a Patagonia like a nano puff parka. Okay, so if you're here live, what would you give that item quality? I think that people could be listing better quality. That I feel like that's pretty good quality. I feel like people could definitely be listing better quality. So I'm going to personally give my item quality an 8. I think that's fair. I do want to be fair. Photo quality. I think my photos are very, very clear, well lit. I see you. I'm gonna reschedule it out, but thank you. Appreciate it. My photos are very clear. I did used to put a little bit more time and effort into this default photo to make it look a little bit nicer. So I think that it could be slightly better. Like this one is like, I would say this is like a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. And this is like a 9 out of 10 or like maybe an 8 out of 10. Now, like I said, I'm scrolling back to older listings here. These are all the ones that went live yesterday. My 13 that went live yesterday. I think midterms plus Whatnot been keeping me away from eBay. My consistency can be rated poorly. Hey, you got to rate it what it is. I'm going to give my photo quality a 9. I think it could, like, I probably could give myself a 10, but let's be honest here. And this is how I'm going to be rating everyone else's stores as well. So, we'll see how I compare to everyone else when we're all said and done. Let's click in on a listing and look at item specifics, policies, that kind of thing. $9.95 for shipping on jeans. I feel like that's maybe slightly high. A lot of people charge $8.95, but I feel like that's fine for a shipping rate. I do offer returns. I don't offer free returns, but I offer returns. I personally think that that's totally fine. Does have the little condition description. We got some item specifics down in here. I go very, very, very basic on the description, but I personally think that that's fine. If there is something to be noted, I definitely do note it. So I think that my listings and policies is like maybe, well, I got to factor in titles, and I know my titles are really good. I really have good keywords in the titles. Let's go back. Let's go back and look at the keywords in the titles. Based on the titles, should this be a 9 or a 10, chat? I don't know. I'm not trying to like pat myself on the back. I'm just trying to be honest here. I don't know. I'm going to go with 10. And sell-through rate, like I said, this is going to be cheap YouTuber math, but we have 866 items listed and 937 sold, plus everything that sold on Poshmark. So I'm definitely going to 10 on sell-through rate. What do we think? I steal your barn chore jacket keywords every time I list them. Hey, thank you, Andrew. Okay, so what do we think? Is that a fair rating? We got 20 people in here. Is that a fair rating for myself? 10 on consistency, item quality 8. I think people could definitely list higher quality items. I think 10 for all. Thank you, North Bay. I think and can literally sell any brand with them. So the next person I'm going to review is actually Yumbo. He reached out to me, wanted me to review it. I think that he would probably match me in all of these, but probably be better in item quality. Um, Maybe slightly lower in sell through rate, but he has a way bigger store, so it's not really, I mean, a knock on his sell through rate. So I'm going to leave mine as an 8 on item quality for now. Photo quality, I probably could put a 10, but this is just, of course, my own opinion of what I do is going to be good. So let's move on to Yumbo, and then we're going to get into the subscriber eBay stores. So Caleb Sells officially scores a 9.4 on the eBay store scorecard. All right, Yumbo. We have 2,072 items. Okay, it's not telling me, oh, I got to search by newly listed. Then will it tell me? Okay, the 22nd. Oh, Yumbo did not list yesterday or today. Okay, he's West Coast, so he could still be listing today. He did not list yesterday. Yumbo. Dude, come on. But let's see how many he did. Let's see how many he did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. These might all be sell similars if they're all at the same time. Those are probably all sell similars. It says 2250 for all of these. 60 photos one day, then 60 listings the next day, says Yumbo. Okay. I mean, I believe that. 60 listings in one day, that's so hardcore. But that's on average 30 per day. So if he's doing 30 per day, let's see. So let's change it to how many can you see in one? 60 per day. 60 in one page. Okay, so here's the 20th. And some of those other ones probably already sold. Yumbo says they aren't sell similars. Okay. So some of those other ones probably sold. So this probably is 60 listings every other day. And I mean, if that's what he's telling me, I gotta believe my guy. He definitely wouldn't lie to the camera, would he? Okay. What I'm gonna do is if he's well, first of all, consistency is different than just straight up cranking out listings, and Yumbo does crank out way more listings than I do. So we do need to make up for that fact in the scoring system. It's hard for me to tell the um, what the consistency is, to be honest. Just from the store, like I know he's in here says 60 every day, but I need to see like how consistently are we doing 60 every day. But I am seeing like there's been hundreds of listings in just the last week. So that tells me you're being consistent. If you have time at the end, my store is your fly supply. Okay, if we have time at the end. $60 every other day. All right, chat. What do you guys think we should do? 60 every other day. Is that 9 or 10? I mean, it's consistent. It's his own schedule. Not everybody has to do it the same way I'm doing it. I would say I can't tell for certain. I can't count every single one when it's 60 because I'll be here all day just counting. Nobody wants to hear me count for 5 minutes. But the fact that he's doing 60 in one day, I think that's got to be a 10 in consistency. I think that's got to be a 10 in consistency. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Most recently listed items. We got the vintage LL Bean, Sims, Newitt tags, 30 days crazy work, 10 out of 10. Yes, I agree. I wish I could count individually and see if it actually is exactly 30, but I'm sure he has items like me that sell super fast and we wouldn't be able to count it up anyway, especially if you're listing 60 in one day. So 30 a day solo, sourced photograph listed. Got to give him a 10 on consistency. He's on the grind. I know that for sure. These rugbies are super poppin', super good items. This is why I couldn't give myself a 10 on item item quality. I could not give myself a 10 on item quality knowing that my man Yumbo is out here, that he's gonna rate his next. Quality 10 plus plus. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think this is gonna be a 10 quality. Love the little wave in the jeans, man. Got the military pants, Scotty vest, vintage polo, jeans co. Let's check out some of his highest. This might be a good way to check out item quality. Price highest. We got a $599 shirt. We got some 275 Polar Ralph military pants, vintage Neiman Marcus suit supply cashmere suit. That's a sweet reverse weave. Beyond clothing, vintage Jenko. This has got to be a 10, right? That's 10. Photo quality. I like the layout of the photos. I really like on the baggy jeans. His are way better than mine. I personally think flat lay looks better than hanger. Just my own personal opinion. I did not give myself a 10. I don't think my photos are better than his, but I think we're tied at 9. That's my own opinion. Also, like, hey, Yumbo, I told you I'd be critical. Look, this color right here is super light. See how this is like darkening out in the bottom? We got some shadows in there. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying we're both 9s. Okay. See this? I feel like if that was flat laid, that would look way better. Look at that floppy sleeve. Still amazing pictures. Still amazing pictures. I like that one with the little shreds in the grass. It's cool. All right, are we still sorted by highest? Let's just go to newly listed, check some of the newer. See, like the color on that is just, it's not a 10 out of 10. It's amazing. It does not harm the photo whatsoever, does not harm the listing. That's not a 10 out of 10 photo right there. That's not a 10 out of 10 with the shadow down there. Some of these are 10 out of 10, but some of them are 9 out of 10. So we're going 9 out of 10. Listings and policies. I know I followed Yumbo for a long time. We're friends now. So I know that this is going to be a 10 out of 10, but let's click in and just talk about it for a little bit. 60-day returns. It's not mid. It's good. 9 is not mid. 60-day returns, $8.99 shipping. So he's offering cheaper shipping than me. 60-day returns, so double the amount of return length that I do and free returns. So very generous on the return policy. He's got the item specifics. He has more of a description than I do. He has great feedback. That's a 10 out of 10 on listings policies. Sell through, I'm pretty sure I saw his jump up. So we have 2,000 items listed and 2,300 sold. That might have to be a 10 out of 10 and then a bonus point, which takes him to a 10 out of 10. Okay, we got to make him a 9.9. Can we get a 9.9? Because is it the best store on YouTube? I mean, on eBay? Half a bonus point? Half a bonus point. Okay, 9.9. I think if that's a 10, can I retroactively change mine to 9 on item quality? Or do I keep it at 8? We'll have to vote later. All right, if you're just now tuning in, this is the score sheet, scorecard, eBay store scorecard. Me and Yumbo have gone. We're going to jump into the Instagram stores right now. I have a feeling it's going to get a lot darker than the high nines. But I know Yumbo runs an amazingly great eBay store over there, and I obviously am trying to do my best over here as well. So I'm not surprised those are high scores. All right, I'm going to go in the order of which they were received. Okay, Nick Sells Store. So this is Nick Sells or Snell. Sells? What was it? Nick Sells. Kind of like Caleb Sells, but Nick. How do you change that? More lights? Um, Maybe not more lights, but you could change the position of the lighting or get more lights. W's in the chat. All right, Nick Sells. Let's go to newly listed. I'm going to try to pick up the pace a little bit. I know that those were two good stores, so I wanted to point out a lot of things here. Looks like we have some listings live for today. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. Okay, we have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So sorry that you guys have to watch me count. It's not really that exciting. But I see between 8 to 10 listings. I saw one day that was 4. I don't know if that was because he did 10 listings the day before, but I think if you're doing that many listings consistently, and his store size is only 200, so this could be somebody part-time. I mean, consistency is consistency. It's not about getting up the most listings. I mean, Yumbo crushes how many he does. He does 30 per day. I do 13. I'm doing less than half of what he's doing. So I think, well, from what I saw, consistency is a 9 for Nick Sells. Now let's look at the quality. Banana Republic women's blazer, we're talking way below a 10 on that one. Columbia PFG, Brooks Adrenaline. Brooks do sell really well for me. Got a women's 10 in the cheetah print. That's decent. Got the Nike golf pants. I mean, I'd love to sell that on Whatnot, but really not that great. Nike Free Run. This is like a older style. Got some Brooks, some Vans Skate High, the Nike faux fur with the palms. Marsh Landing vintage leather vest. Okay, from what I'm seeing so far, I think this would be like a, if I'm a 9 or if I'm an 8. Okay, wait, if I'm an 8, I would call this a 4. A 4 on item quality, maybe less, 3. Orvis flannel, those are no good. Cabela's women's quarter zip, that's probably not very good. Let's look at the best items real quick. Okay, definitely have some bangers here. But not too many. What do we think? This is interactive. If you're in the chat or in the comments, let me know what you think. I'm going to go with, if I'm an 8, I think it could definitely get worse from there. I'm going with a 3. Okay, photo quality. I saw a stock photo in there. Let's look at this barn jacket here. Okay, I don't like the automatic removed background personally. Looks a little bit wrinkled. See, I just go with that gray background right here. It's the same carpet I use. Um, and of course, the item is, might be just be a little wrinkled. You can now we're nitpicking here, but it's not in square mode, not in square mode, and you can see off the table right there. I do like that you took a nice little up close shot of that flaw there. I'm gonna go. Let's see how you do bibs because bibs are hard to photograph. Mm, the auto removal is not horrible on those, I guess. The gray blanket on the couch. This one's looking better, but still, we're not in square mode. Okay, so if we're making improvements, Nick, you need to put your phone in or your camera in square mode. So 1:1 aspect ratio. I like this little profile picture, kind of copying my jam on that one. You can see off the thing here. Depending on the camera you're using, like you can see this is like really shiny on this one. It's like a lot lighter, and then it's going to be hard to get that color right. Let's check this one real quick. Once again, your photo is getting cut off here, so you don't get the full shot because it's not in square mode. I'm going to go, definitely could get way worse once again. So I'm going to go 4 on the photo quality. Look at these listings. No returns. Um, I guess within listings, I should be looking at pricing too. I should be looking at pricing too. So Travex jacket for 39 bucks. Looks like we do have some item specifics here, concealed pockets. It's not too bad. $8.99 shipping is very fair for that item. No returns on used clothing. I just think you should do at least offer buyer paid returns on used clothing personally. Got some new tags, Levi's. No returns. Got these, got that. New tags, 34 bucks. That's fine pricing, I think. So the listing, let's look at titles. Let's look at titles. So new tags, I would always lead with the brand on titles because nobody's typing in NWT into the search bar and you want to match the search. Men's jeans, I would do Levi's 501 jeans, men's 52 by 28, blue denim, straight dark wash. The rest of that's fine, but title structure needs some work. So that's going to lower it a little bit. No returns, title structure, kind of overall vibe. What's the feedback score? 99.4. I'd probably want that to be a little bit higher at that low of with a tear, not helpful. Did not receive, it was not delivered. That's not really your fault. Yeah, and those don't seem like major big deals in the feedback, but it is going to show on your feedback. Okay. Listings and policies, I'm going to go with 6. Could definitely have better titles. I would offer at least buyer paid returns. And just the overall vibe of the listing could be a little bit cleaner with a better photo, better title. Sell through rate. So we have 201 listed and 230 sold. So we have to go with 10. I mean, over 100%, or like more sold than listed. It's got to be a 10. All right. What do we think? Was that a fair? Was that a fair representation? Let me know in the chat. Was that a fair ranking? All right. Next up, we have J. Arnold Shop. What do we think on that one? Was that fair? All right, we have 1,600 items. Let's do sell-through rate first because that kind of tells me how quickly we're selling here. 1,600 items listed. How sell-through rate so good if quality is low? Maybe aggressive pricing. Maybe accepting offers. So this is another really good sell-through rate. 1,800. So we got to go 10 for Jay Arnold. All right, consistency. Newly listed. All right. So no new listings yet today. Yesterday we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 30, 32. Plum in the house. What's going on, man? So that was 32 yesterday. Let's see how many the day before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27. Let's see how many days in a row, if there's any days missed. We got the 21st. We got the 20th. We got the 19th. All right, I think this is, yeah, high sell-through rate, but low item price. Yes. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of consistency out of Jay Arnold. So I'm going to call that a 10. As far as I could count, that was a 10. Item quality. All right, let's go back to what he just listed. What he just listed. Okay, we got some boys Jordans. Looks a little dingy. Onitsuka Tiger. Looks a little dingy. Looks a little dingy. We're just going to come back to this in photos too. Birkenstocks. Okay, these are looking a bit dirty. I mean, these on clouds are beat, which is fine if they sell. That's fine. Video low dollar video games. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards a 5. What was Nick? Was a 3. Got the vintage J. Crew Oarsman. That's a nice piece. Denim Supply, brand new. Frank and Eileen, vintage J. Crew, Polo Ralph Lauren. Yeah, I'm thinking kind of 5-ish. Those Hokas are beat. Some Air Jordan 1s. No problem, Nick. Hey, you still had a really high consistency score and you're out there doing the thing and your sell-through rate is amazing. So if you're selling items, you're doing something right. And all you need to do is make those little improvements to be able to sell faster. And then if you desire to, I know you're a part-time seller, but if you desire to, you'd be able to list more items because you're going to have really good cash flow because you're able to sell really fast. So a lot of really positive things to build on. You're kind of setting people up for failure after going after me and Yumbo. No offense, like not trying to pat us on the back or anything, but I know Yumbo's a grinder. He's got really good stuff. I'm out here on the grind too. So I'm thinking this is a 5 on quality. If anybody has any, thoughts in the comment or in the chat, let me know. I think it's a 5 on quality. Photo quality. I like that it's like no distractions. It doesn't have to be like a super doctored up photo. I think like a plain clear photo is perfectly fine. It does look like there's like a little schmutz on the backdrop there, and like I don't even pick up shoes if they need cleaning, but these are like very very dirty. So I would say that hurts the photo quality. Some of these are in square mode, some of these are not in square mode. This one's horizontal, this one's vertical. So I think this is going to be Kind of in that 4 range for photo quality. Everybody just trying the best with what they got, praise God. Hey, I agree with that. Everybody's doing their best. All right, let's check out this listing quality. We have free shipping, okay. 30-day returns, okay. We got some item specifics. Heel wear. Not a ton of details in the description. I mean, I don't put a lot of details in the description, but I think like at least a full sentence, in my opinion, is a little bit um, nicer. Let's look at the titles. Uh, Good title, in my opinion. I'd probably go with Hoka. And this is going to repeat in the search. One or 1-1. Art by Act, if I get through all the ones from Instagram, I'm going to take live ones from the chat, but I have a list from Instagram so far. We do have the coupon running, so that's using some of eBay's tools. So I would say that bumps you up a little bit. We know you're selling items fast. Well, those are really busted in the heel. Listing. I'm going to say overall, this is like a 7. I mean, the listing's fine. But that combined with like the pictures, the overall presentation of the listing, the one word description, I think 7 is pretty good. So Jay Arnold comes in with a score of 7.2. All right, time to find our next victim. Once again, anybody who has a 10 on sell-through rate, you're going to sell items really quickly. That gives you a lot of cash flow. So if you make any of these adjustments, you can really improve on a lot of these things really quickly. Maybe you could increase your average sales price by increasing in some of these other categories. All right. We'll put on this one high quality. Nick says, hey, Nick's in the house. Nick says, for sure, I started to hit the bins during my lunch break 3 to 4 times a week within the last year. Previously, I only sourced retail stores like Ross and Burlington. Okay. So yeah, when you're shopping at the bins, the quality can be lower because those margins are going to be higher. You don't have to sell things for a ton of money to create the same amount of profit. If you pay $1 for something and you can sell it for $20, that's pretty much the same as me buying something for like, I don't know, 7 or 8 and selling it for 30. Wait, is that the right math? I think so. Something like that. You guys get my point. So the bins, the quality is going to be lower, but that's where you make up for it with the consistency, with the photo quality, with the listings, and obviously the sell-through rate's good, so you're able to sell through those items. All right, here we have high quality products and service. We have a 235 item store, and we have sold 198. I would give that a 9 on the sell-through rate. That's pretty good, in my opinion. All right. Sort by newly listed. Let's see how many they've listed. Oh, we've not listed since October 16th. Somebody's in trouble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a week off. Okay, we got our first low consistency score. I'm going to give this a 5. They're putting up listings. They still have a good amount of listings in the last couple of weeks. They are a smaller store, so you can't expect them to have, be obviously if you have 235 items, you're not going to be doing tons and tons and tons of listings. I think on the sell-through rate, I need to bump it to 8 because if somebody was like just barely under 100%, that would be 9. Okay, this is trial by error, by the way. Looking at item quality next. Item quality. So we have a new Attack Jansen Christmas sweater. I would say that's a good item. We got a vintage 49ers crew, vintage Cowboys crew. First Ascent shorts, definitely not like a 10 out of 10 quality. Duluth, the magnet shirts are a little bit of a sleeper, but still not the most amazing brand. Eddie Bauer Weather Edge, definitely something I would pick up, but not like a grail item, obviously. Newer tags, Columbia, Nike, a little bit lower, but hey, I like it. Skillers, Silver Jeans, women's Sukios are okay. LL Bean, I'm listening to a lot of those right now because of fall. So this looks like I would say this is better than the other two random subscriber stores, but I would not put this on uh, the same quality of my store personally. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. New at tags, good polo. That's a nice find. This actually is some pretty good stuff. Twillery, LL Bean. We got some pretty good stuff in here. I'm gonna say if I'm an 8, I might be a 9, and this might be an 8 or maybe a 7 because it's a little bit better than one above, so it's not a 6. Okay, you guys can roast me for going back and changing my own thing, but after looking at some stores, I think I'm a 9. I think this is a 7 because I don't think they're quite an 8. It's not just barely under mine, but I think it's more than one over J Arnold at 5. That's my opinion. Photo quality, we have some really good photos. You can see a little bit of the white background right here. There's no real eye-catching photo at the front. They're all laid out exactly the same, which is good, but it's not really going that extra mile. This, you can see this one's really dark. This one's like has a bluish tone. This one's really light. This one's darker. This one's darker than this one. So it's not 100% consistent. If me and Yumbo are 9, I would call this. Is it a 7 or an 8? I mean, I really don't have any complaints. It's just a little dark. Plus those other things that I said. It's just a little dark for my taste. Let's click in on it and see how it looks once we click in. I don't know. That's probably an 8. What do we think? Is that an 8? Listings and policies. Let's check it out. 30-day returns. $7.95 shipping for first class. I think that's a little high. Personally, I'll have to look at some other. Nice description, full sentences, got some item specifics. I think that's looking really good. Let's look at another short sleeve. See, $7.95 for these short sleeves. What about the fleece joggers? $9.95. Okay. Let's see on this heavyweight jacket. $14.95. I think it's a little heavy for the first class. Everything else seems spot on. Let's check titles here. Mizuno Windlight Flex quarter zip pullover, vintage Le Tigre sweater, William Murray long sleeve polo. That's not a polo. That's just a button up shirt. Adidas Adipure wool blend pants. Those are golf pants. Golf's not in the title. So we need a little bit of title work on this one. Need a little bit of title work. Full zip is more of a keyword, so I'd move that from here in the title over to here. LL Bean jacket, men's large, Polartec warm up fleece, full zip, blah, blah, blah. I think titles need some work, so I think I'm going to go with 7 on the 7 based on the titles. Everything else seemed pretty solid, but titles needed some work on that one. I don't know though. I feel like that store might have been better than J Arnold. So it was really the consistency though, because when I think about the consistency, there was like a whole week without listings, right? Yeah, there's been a lot of big chunks without listings. Let's check out the best items that they have for sale. Not too many true bangers. I mean, these are good items, obviously. What did I say? The item quality 7. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. You got to be lower. You got to be lower than Jay Arnold because Jay consistency is king in this thing, right? How are we doing, chat? Let me know what's going on in the chat. Anonymous says, "Hey chat, if inventory space isn't a problem, do you think it's better to donate old inventory or relist it and let it sit?" In my opinion, if it's not bothering you, it takes more time and effort to go through and fish out that old inventory and figure out what to do with it. So if you don't have like a space problem and you at least have it listed and you can try discounting it heavily. So having somebody buy it for $2 plus shipping is still going to be better than taking your time to go find that stuff and donate it or whatever else. I was just talking about that with somebody today. Why do you think my sold item on desktop is about 100 items lower than on mobile 90-day total page? Honestly, I don't know the answer to that. Sometimes eBay is just a little quirky. Oh, I never checked feedback on that one. I think it was 100% feedback. Yep, 100% feedback. Really good. All right, let's find this next store. Some people send it to me but did not send a link. So people that send a link are going to get to go first because that's easier. Okay, we got Ace Tex Vintage. Ace Tex Vintage. Here we go. Tempting treasures. Yes, it will be saved for later. Appreciate you looking through the store, Caleb. Got to be more consistent for sure. That's right, Matt. Hey, but you're doing a good job. I mean, like other than the consistency, you had really high ratings. You're doing a lot of things right. But consistency is key here because we got to get those listings up daily. And I honestly think like some people will say, oh, the algorithm rewards you for listing every single day. It's not the algorithm. It's just putting good new items in your store every single day. It gives people more chances to buy your items. And when you first list items, they're going to show at the top of search because eBay is trying to figure out, are these good items? People want to see these items. And so that's your best chance at getting sales is listing good items every single day. Also keeps you accountable to the number. Like the only reason I say 13 a day is so that I have a number I can hold myself accountable to. If I just said I'm gonna do as many listings as I can, I could end up doing 9 a day. I could end up doing 25 a day, but I don't really know what my goal is. So if you don't have a daily listing goal, I highly recommend that's a really good way to start increasing your consistency and which will overall increase your sales because you might even have your goal be less than what you do on a normal basis. But the fact that you never miss a day, like if you normally do 20, but if you miss one whole day, so that'd be like 120 listings in a 7-day week. The 120 listings, you could do like 17 a day, 16 a day, 7 days a week, and have the same amount of items if you don't miss an entire day. So it's really important to stay consistent, is all I'm trying to say there. So if you would rate my store and check my sell-through rate, it would be wrong, but it's correct in Seller Hub. It matches my mobile page. Well, we're just going off of what I can see on the store. I mean, it's just kind of the numbers are what they are from what I can see. I can't see your Seller Hub. All right, we have 115 sold and 457 items. So about 25% of your store has sold in the last 90 days. So we have our first lower sell-through rate store. I would say, I mean, if we're on a scale of 1 to 10 and 10s are over 100, the other one was about 80%. I would say that this has to be like a 3, right? Sounds savage, but 157, or I mean, 457 listed and 115 sold. That's like almost exactly a quarter. So that's 2.5 out of 10, rounding up to 3. All right. No new listings today. Listings yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, 1, 2, 3. The day before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got a few days missed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think this is similar to the last one, but maybe a little bit better because there was no huge gaps. So I'm going to give this a 6 on consistency. Now let's look at that item quality. Polo Ralph Lauren buy swing. Just a little title note, we'll get to this. I would change that from Harrington to buy swing, and also Harrington is with an A, not an E. anyway, if you are going to put that in your theme or somewhere else in your listing. We got a vintage Pendleton shirt. Those are okay. It's not a board shirt. Those are like the grails. We got the vintage reverse weave. Those are good if it's made in USA. It doesn't look to be made in USA because it'd probably be worth a lot more than that. Yeah, not made in USA, so not a grail. Vintage Harley, vintage Jesus shirt. So this seems more of like a vintage store vibe. So that is probably going to have a lower sell-through rate unless it's priced really aggressively, because when you're picking up more style-based or more those niche pieces, they're not the brands that are going to sell as fast. So there's going to be some really cool vintage pieces in here, stuff that I would even want to keep or wear for personal, but I this person says Harrington keyword can be swept for Vero sometimes, so be careful. And that's exactly what I said. Don't use Harrington in your title. Use buy swing jacket. That's what that's called. Buy swing jacket. BI-SWING. So there's going to be really cool items in here, but I think you're going to miss out on the consistency of sales because it's not brand based as much. I mean, obviously there's going to be some good brands in here. So I'm not really a vintage expert. I don't know how good these are in the vintage world. I'm going to go based off of the sell through rate, that they're not like, grails, but I do know that vintage stores, like mainly vintage stores, are going to sell a little bit slower. I personally think if I just went off my gut, I would say this is a 6. Right in between Jay Arnold, who had some decent stuff, but some like dirtier items, but had really fast selling brands, and like video games that typically sell faster, even though they were lower dollar. I think it's a little bit better than that because it's a little more curated, probably better average sales price than Jay Arnold. I wouldn't quite say it's high quality, the store high quality, as not quite as good as the last one, just because obviously those items don't sell as fast. But maybe personally they're cooler. But anyway. All right, what are we checking next here? Photo quality. These photos are very dark, but they are all uniform, so I do like that. I do like that they're all uniform. There's no real like catchy profile photo. I do like the like image quality itself, I guess, is pretty good. Like you can really see the details on that Taz right there. Let's click on another one. We got the like bathroom counter. That could probably be a little bit cleaned up. It's pretty dark though. How have we been doing on the photo quality? I think this is a little bit less than the last one, even though it's like a cleaner aesthetic. It's just a little too dark for the items, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with a 7 on the photo quality. And let's jump in and check this listing here. No returns. Let's go over titles too. I saw Harrington in the title. We don't want Harrington in the title. That's a Vero, potential Vero. We got the measurements, good description. We got the item specific, so all those things. So no returns. So I would call that like an 8 for no returns. And then we got to dock a little bit for the titles. Harrington being in the title, vintage varsity jacket, men's purple, medium. Probably want to put medium before the color, in my opinion. Yeah, I think the titles could just use a little bit of work. So let's go with a 6 because no returns and titles need work. Once again, consistency plays a huge factor in here. Wait, didn't I say the consistency was a 3? When did I say consistency was a 3? Oh, sell-through rate was a 3. Okay. Consistency and sell-through rate brought that score down low, even though the quality of the listings and the quality of the items was good. So it's not just about the items, it's about your hard work, consistency, and making those items sell. Because sell-through rate is, can you get those items to sell? If you buy bad items, but you can still get them to sell, Like I know I pick up items that a lot of people would pass on, but we get them sold anyway. All right. Next up, we have clothing. Are you guys enjoying this? Is anybody here? Alex says, "How do you manage to buy so many items in a single day? When I go thrifting, I spend a lot of times checking comps for each item before buying, and that slows me down a lot." That is a really good point. The truth is that when I first started doing this, I looked up every single item that I didn't know in the thrift store. And over time, that becomes way fewer and fewer and fewer items. And you really figure out how to identify items that you need to look up, and you know what items are good and not good. I still look up things every single time I go into the thrift store, but 90% of the buying or leaving purchases, I just know immediately when I look at the item. Carrie in the house. What's going on, Carrie? Hope your baby's doing great. I can hear mine crying in the background. Hope he's okay. All right, clothing. Let's see what we got going on here. So we have 254 items and 50 sold. So what's that, like a 25 or a 20%? You're learning a lot, Pam. That's great. If you get time, can you check out my store? Add to cart. Much appreciated. Keep up the good work. Okay. If we get through all the Instagram ones, we will definitely pop into some viewer stores here. So that's 50 out of 250. That's like 20%. So we're going to go with a 2 on sell through rate. So we got to get that sell through rate up, Clothy. All right, newly listed, 24th. That's today. We got new listings up today. Great job. One, two, one, one, two, one, two, one, 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 two, three. Okay. Looks like so we're back to the beginning of October. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we got about 20 items in the last 20 days. So I think there was missed days and not always the same amount per day. A lot of times there's just one item per day. So I think that's got to be pretty low on the consistency score. What can we do here? I should have like thought of some metrics for this stuff. Hey, we're gonna build this thing out. We're gonna see who has the best eBay store. So far, Yumbo's killing it. Yumbo's in the lead. I think consistency, but it is a smaller store, so you can't really expect too much. They just got some listings up today. I think this is probably a 5. I mean, you still are doing listings almost every day, which is good. Item quality, we got some crazy OEM Apple products here. I mean, those are going to be good, obviously. I don't really know tons about those items, vintage electronics, stuff like that. So I can't really comment on those. So I'm just going to stick to the clothing. We got a vintage Burberry London shirt, Patagonia shirt, Kavu shorts, vintage Ole Miss hat, vintage Levi's, some new tags Ralph Lauren, Polo Ralph Lauren, Silk Blend, Nat Nast with the embroidery. These are not very good, but it is a 2XB. So, I mean, maybe if it was super cheap, I'd pick it up. Got the Flesh Pony. Vintage Polo Ralph Lauren jacket with the leather. That's a grail. Okay, so we definitely have some good items in here. Vintage Porsche jacket, vintage Polo Ralph Lauren denim. Share some Polo Ralph Lauren leather jackets, please. Please share. Looks like you're discounting some older inventory, so that's good. And then now we're down to some like lower level stuff. Did I sort by highest to lowest? Okay, just newly listed. So highest to lowest, there's some bangers in here for sure. That's a cool piece. Vintage polo sweater. Let's see if I scroll down enough, we can get to like the mids. I want to see like how good the mids are. Plus size in Polo Ralph Lauren is what I'm seeing. So plus size, I can't really knock the Polo Ralph Lauren that much because in plus size it does sell fast. Okay. I think I'm gonna give this one a 7 because of the bangers, but I'm guessing that the more bread and butter might be lower than a 7, but when you have multiple Polar Ralph Lauren leather jackets listed in there, that's gotta be a 7, right? Like, that's gotta bring you up a bit. Photo quality, we're not in square mode. Just gonna grab this first one here. We're not in square mode, so we're gonna change aspect ratio to square so we don't have this big gray block on the screen. It's gonna look way better on the listing when it's in square mode. This photo is clear, but to me, I can tell this has a yellow hue to it because gray should not have that yellow hue. See, in this one, it has less yellow hue, so the color is not always consistent. I do have a video on how to get that, how to fix that problem. It is difficult if you're taking pictures on an iPhone. I purchased a third-party camera app to fix that problem. So photos, it's not in square mode. It's a little dark. The color's not consistent. You can see this one is dark. This one is light. This one is straight up brown. That might even be a different carpet. That might just be different carpet completely. Um, Photo quality. This has got to be like maybe 5. It's not necessarily horrible if you fix a little bit of those things, and even the color not being 100% consistent every single time is okay. Not the color, the lighting, like the brightness, I should say. But that square mode is just a killer. And then when you combine that with the different shades of gray on every single one of those pictures, it tells me that the colors are not true to what you're seeing. And I always tell people the best eBay photo you can take. Now, if you want to get a 9 or a 10, you got to go above and beyond, but an 8 is perfectly fine. You can sell thousands and thousands and thousands of items with even worse than an 8, but I would say an 8 is just a clear, plain picture that looks like what it looks like. You want your eBay picture for the item to just look like what it looks like. That's the goal. If you can do a little bit better than that, then hey, that's good. But you want it to look like what it looks like. All right, we have 60-day returns. Seller pays for shipping, so 60 days free returns, $8.99 shipping for these first class, or I guess under a pound ground advantage shorts. That's going to be too much, in my opinion. Too much for shipping on that. 100% feedback. That's good. Let's check out the jeans. How much for shipping on jeans? $9.99 in jeans. That's fair. You are running a sale on your items, so that's good. Using those tools that eBay gives you. I do like your thought process on this little profile picture. Item specifics are very, very bleak, maybe. Uh, Minuscule. What's the right word here? Not enough item specifics, in my opinion, because a lot of people are going to go to search and they're going to filter with those item specifics. Um, Looks like you have a good description here. I like the description a lot, actually. That's very professional. It's more than what I do. I don't think it's necessary, but hey, I'm not going to complain about going above and beyond. Item specifics need some work, so I would say that takes you down a little bit. The shipping prices are too high for ground advantage under a pound. It's not competitive. I mean, Poshmark's what at $6 and something now. So you got to stay competitive with those shipping prices. Titles. Ermenegildo Xenia pants men's 38.35, fits 34.35, black washable, made in Italy. Kuji jean shorts. Titles seem okay. Mugsy pants men's 42.32. Titles are pretty good. I would like the titles to be a little more keyword rich. Personally, they seem a little bland. But sometimes you just need that much to explain your item. So I think, what did I say? The shipping is too high and the lack of item specifics. I think that's like a 7 because you still have really good policies and your titles are pretty good. So I don't want to dock you too hard on that. All right. Next up, Danny, no worries. I actually need to reschedule that whatnot show, so no worries. All right. Say. I'm just gonna put say. Okay. All right. Next up, we have a 308 item store. Oh, I see some higher sales prices and some nice photos. It's gonna be fun. 308 and 362. Was that right? 308 and 362. That's a 10. We got a 10 sell through rate. Consistency. Time to find out. Is say being consistent? Are they being consistent? Do you guys agree with the ratings so far? Am I rating these fairly? Okay, no new listings today. I don't hold today against anybody. Maybe you're doing your listings tonight. But yesterday we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Skip a day. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it seems like you're pretty consistent, but you're not every day consistent and you're not hitting a daily goal. So I think that's a 6. A little bit more consistent than the last, but not really consistent. Okay, item quality. I think we're going to have a good quality score on this one. Let's check out some of the higher priced items. Got that flight bomber. It's really cool. Bathing ape hoodie, Harley Davidson, board short. That is a really cool board short. Board shirt, sorry. Definitely got some bangers in here. So considering your store size, that is a wild t-shirt. That's like it's like alarming. It's like a jump scare every time you look at it. Okay, you definitely have some good items. Definitely have some good items. This is going to be a good item score. Whoa! Some $300 super flare Levi's, a cool jacket, Duckworth, some Rick Owens shoes. Okay, we got some really nice items here. Really good denim pieces, really good leather pieces. This is probably okay. If I'm a 9, is this a 9 or is this an 8? I mean, these are bread and butters, so you're gonna have bread and butters in there. Like I have lots of bread and butter in my store. Not every sale is like a banger. But the like I try to have like one or two bangers sell per day because that like really puts the numbers over the edge. Now that I'm looking at sold, I'm seeing a little bit less bangers than it seemed like. I mean, when you sort by highest, I mean, it was kind of like, whoa. Um, it's looking a little bit more mid. Okay, if I'm a 9, I think that's an 8. Do we agree? Is that an 8? Is that an 8, everybody? Peter Millar tailor-made polo. That's sweet. Cool, Jay. If I get through all the Instagram requests, then I will hop into the chat. All right, what are we looking for now? Photo quality. Okay, I personally think this would look better without the hanger. And look, it looks blue in this picture, it looks purple in this picture. So that tells me the color is not correct. You can see this is supposed to be gray. That looks like dark green. This color probably is true. Let's look at the color. If it says purple, yeah, it's purple, but it looks straight up blue right here, in my opinion. So the photos need some work, in my opinion. I saw some that had good photos. Like if you have Like this looks like a different background. Let's check this out. Maybe you recently changed backgrounds, or maybe this is like an AI background. Like remove the background and put it on a different background. I don't know. These photos look a little bit better. It still looks a little dark to me. Like this white doesn't look crispy white. You're in square mode, so that's great. I really like this picture. I feel like it overall could be a little bit brighter to make it pop. Like maybe you need one more really bright light to make these pop, and then you need to be able to match the color. Look at the difference between this picture and this picture. Can you see that? I'm pointing with my finger, but I need to use my cursor. But look right here. It's just slightly yellowed, and then it's a little bit lighter. So the color is not matching in every photo. So we're gonna have to dock a little bit in the photo quality. It's still okay. I think this is a 7. These photos are not gonna kill you, but you're not gonna make any sales just on the photos on those ones. Listing policy, 14-day returns. I didn't know you could do 14-day returns. Huh. $6 shipping, so offering cheap shipping and a coupon. So that's going to help stimulate some sales. And you can tell that because of your sell-through rate being really, really high. So you're using those tools that eBay gives you. Lots of item specifics. Nice brief description. Really good keyword, Gorp Core on an outdoor research echo hoodie. That's the perfect keyword for this item. So you understand keywords. I love that. Distressed, rugged, astronaut, Pharrell. So you understand how keywords work and you're getting those into your titles. I'm not surprised you have a high sell-through rate. Geometric Arrow, Cowboy, USA. You understand keywords in the titles. So I commend you on that for sure. Some of those things are really hard to communicate via teaching on YouTube. So I'm impressed by the titles. I would change the title structure slightly, but you understand keywords, and that to me is like super important because keywords a lot of time will sell the item. The shipping price was really cheap, so very fair shipping. I don't know if I have any like dings on the listings or policies. Should I just go with a 10 then if I don't have any? It's hard for me to not put listing or photo quality into the listing because to me that is like together, but it definitely is its own separate thing because the photos need a lot of work, but the titles could be a little bit better. Starting the title with a new tag. I'm gonna go with 9. I'm gonna go with 9. I think it's a 9. It's not quite a 10, but it's really good. So that's our second highest score. So great job, Say. All right, we got another one coming. All right, we got C Longshaw. We'll just do C Long. What do we think? Am I being fair? Am I being too nice or am I being fair? I'm trying to be fair. Got some bangers off the rip here. Okay, we have 101 items listed and 97 sold. So that's what I'm talking about. That's a 9 sell-through rate. Nice sell-through rate. So now we're looking at consistency. So with 101 items over 90 days, that's an average of just over 1 listing per day. So I'm going to guess this consistency score is going to be a little bit lower because most people don't just schedule 1 listing for every single day. They'll do like 5 and then they'll be done for the week and then do 10 and then be done for the week. So I'm guessing it's going to have a little bit lower consistency score, but let's check it out. Or maybe he's just recently building, and it's going to be great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1. Okay, so for 100 item store, what I'm gonna do on consistency is 9. It's not the right same number every single day, but I what from what I could see, at least one listing was going up every single day. And when you only have 100 item store, this is probably somebody that sells part time. I mean, yeah, definitely because you can't really support yourself off of. Well, either way, doesn't matter. They're probably not listing 20 on average 20 items a day. I mean, obviously. So considering the smaller store size, I think that's very, very good consistency. But if I had to give any advice based off that little bit, I would say pick a number and try to stick to it because you'll be able to see like even if it's 3 per day, that would still increase your store by a ton over 90 days, I think. Um, and if you could keep that sell through rate up, 3 per day seems pretty manageable. You're in some days you're doing 5, 6, 7 listings. So that would be like my initial advice just off the first click of your store, I guess. All right, let's see here. We got a Vuori shirt, Todd Snyder polo, Peter Millar featherweight polo. That's a pretty good um, line of Peter Millar. Vuori skirt, Lululemon pants. So a lot of athleisure, State and Liberty. I don't love the stock photos. Don't love the stock photos. Don't love the stock photos. Um, got some really good stuff in here though, for sure. Patagonia, Jack Archer, Johnny Was, Lululemon, Bombas, Lululemon, Olakai, Outer Known, Aloe, Lululemon, Sid Mashburn. So we got some really good brands here. I would say that this is similar to the last one of an 8. I would say this is similar to the last one of an 8. Let's sort lowest to highest to see if there's anything that stands out to me. Definitely some bangers here. It's awesome. M. Crow, Tyler Hayes. I've never even heard of that, so that's great. Definitely has some bangers in here for sure. Now, actually, I want to see what the lowest items are because I'm kind of forgetting this is such a small store. If you have that many bangers in a small store, so we do have a few duds, but it gets up to a good sales price pretty quick. I mean, if your cheapest items you're listing are Vuori t-shirts, I feel like that's pretty good. But I think just the amount of like really good items, I don't know. I should probably just give this a 9. 9. I think it's a 9. Or wait, well, it's still talking about item quality or photo quality? When did I get off? When did I get off? I got distracted apparently somehow. Okay, photo quality. I see a lot of stock photos. I don't recommend using stock photos, especially for your main photo, because you can get those listings taken down. Lots of zeros. I've had it happen to me. It's not a myth. It's real. The photos that are theirs, they seem pretty good, but I got a doc for a ton of stock photos. Let's find one that is their photo. I'm guessing that's probably their photo. This is probably their photo. Okay, so white, I would change this to gray because white looks kind of dirty unless you overexpose it. It looks like a little dingy. So I would change this background to gray personally. You are in square mode. You have really nice clear photos. You're pointing out that flaw really nicely, really good measurements. A lot of really good things in the photos, but we got to get away from stock photos. And I would change this background to gray because you're going to get a more consistent color in all your photos. And you can also, I feel like it has no offense, but it has a little bit of a dingy vibe because white, when it's not overexposed, just looks dirty even when it's not. So I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying it looks just a little bit dingy. And this whole thing looks a little bit dark because of that. So like look at the difference between this white and your white. So this looks clean, this looks dirty, even though it's not dirty, but because it's not overexposed. Um, so we have the stock photos and we have that issue there. So I think the photos is where you're going to take the hit. I'm going to go with a 5 on the photos. Why do I keep doing that? 5 on the photos. Now we got to get to the listings and the policies. Let's just check on this one. No returns, a little bit high on the shipping, but if you're doing 1066, you might be doing calculated. So I'm not going to knock you too hard for that. Um, really good description, extra details. So that's good. What's going on, Big John? Item specifics are there. Let's check a couple other items. I'm thinking more like aloe pants, women's small, good title, good title, good title. I'm thinking kind of like 8 is where I'm kind of thinking right now. Let's check another one. See, this has really cheap shipping. So maybe it says 633. Is it calculated? Maybe the 1066 is that like one of the flat rate envelopes or something? We're doing calculated shipping. I don't know. No returns. Too much information here, in my opinion. Way too much information. That's probably either a VA or eBay AI description or whatever. Too much info, in my opinion. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I'm gonna go with an 8. All right, is that our? Oh, we tied. Say and C long tied. All right, let's keep going here. Casey flips. All right, Casey flips. We got 1,600 items, 1,645, and we got 451 sold. So that's about 25%. So we're going to go for a 3 on the sell through rate. So let's see how we can get that sell through rate up. Casey flips. All right, no new listings today. We got yesterday 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. He went on a roll, 26, 27, 28. Okay, so you listed a ton of items on the 21st. Nice work. So, but none on the 20th. Not to be savage, but we're not listing every day. None on the 20th, 1 on the 19th. On the 18th, we have 2 on this page. Let's go to the next page. Okay, looks like probably going to be a lot of listings on the 18th. Decent amount. 1 on the 17th, none on the 16th, 1 on the 15th, 1 on the 14th, none on the 13th, 12th, or 11th, 1 on the 10th. So we're low on consistency, but you are getting up a good amount of items, obviously, if you're getting to 1,600 items. But what I'd love to see for you is your sell-through rate to increase, create a consistent listing goal. So that way you know what your goal is to get listed every single day or even scheduled out in advance like I do. And that way you can monitor how much you're buying, how much you're spending on inventory, putting it into your business while you increase your sell through rate by increasing some things that we're going to talk about, photo quality, item quality, stuff like that. And we're going to get that sell through rate up. Casey flips. Okay, consistency. I think that's like you are getting a lot of listings up, but it doesn't seem to be super consistent. You had like 40 listings on one day and then had 4 days in a row where you did 0. So I'm just going to do a 5. I'm gonna do a 5 for consistency. Item quality. Let's look at some of the bangers. Whoa! So we got some banger sports cards in there. 17 watchers on that Chief sweatshirt. Holy cow. We got some true bangers in here. Really, really cool. All right, so we definitely have some bangers in there. So we gotta have a baseline for having some bangers. That's for sure. Lowest, do we got some duds? Yeah, we got some cheap stuff in there too. I'm looking at the clothing because that's what I know best. And there's a lot of stuff like women's extra small hoodie. I know you've lowered the price, so you probably realize those aren't great items. So you're just trying to get rid of them. So I think that's smart. It's all you can do. But a lot of these are just items that are going to be pretty tough to sell. Woolrich uh, quarter snap or a quarter button. Yeah, definitely a lot of clothing items that aren't the best stuff I'd either be passing on, or some of that golf stuff I have been selling on whatnot, but don't doesn't really sell on eBay very well. So it looks like we got a lot of that stuff. You obviously do have some bangers in there, so I can't totally uh, clock you on the quality. Let's go to like the middle of the pack, page number 5. Oh, we're still into the 17.99 sorted by price. That tells me there's a lot of lower to mid-level items in there, not enough bangers. Let's go a little bit further and see where we're at. Page 8, are we up? Okay, we're still in the 18.99. So I'm just gonna speculate. You probably source at the bins, get these items really, really cheap, and just fire off as many of these listings as possible. Um, which is not a bad strategy. I prefer a higher quality, lower volume strategy. Item quality, you got those bangers in there, but I think the meat of your store is like Polo Ralph Lauren, Columbia, Woolrich. That stuff is can be tough to sell. It can be pretty saturated. Item quality, I'm gonna go with 6 because of the $15,000 card. I was gonna go 5, but you got bumped up to a 6 from some of those bangers. That Kansas City Chiefs piece, it's an obvious grail for the probably most popular team in NFL right now. Photo quality on the, I'm just gonna look at something like this because clothing is what I know best. Only 2 photos. Oof, only 2 photos. We're gonna need some more photos. This is not even buttoned, so I'm seeing just a little bit of a lack of care with the photos. Let's check and see if that's a theme or if that was just a one-time thing. And this is AI eBay or eBay AI description. I think it's giving too much information. It's a used polo. It doesn't. We don't need embroidered for a touch of brand recognition. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think the eBay AI description just is way too over the top. It's not actually describing the item because obviously they can see that it's a Polo Ralph Lauren polo. You're not really getting anything from that, if that makes sense. So photo quality, only 2 photos. This one is kind of hard to see. It once again we have that white background that's not crispy white. So if you're gonna use white, you have to overexpose it to make it look crispy white, or it looks bad. So to me, it looks a little dingy in the background, even though it's probably not. Photos need some definite work. Let's see where else we rated people's photos. 4 was the lowest. I think the photo quality is not lower than that, but the fact that there's only 2 photos, no measurements, anything like that, we're gonna have to go with a 3 on the photos, in my opinion. And having good photos and having a good listing and better items could definitely help you in that sell-through rate category as well as being a little bit more consistent. So I see no returns, $8 for a under 1 pound, like a 12-ounce rate on Ground Advantage. I feel like that's pretty high. I currently do 6.95, and I feel like that's about what it costs at the most. Um, usually less than that, even for 12 ounces. I don't love the AI description. I don't love no returns. I don't love the lack of measurements. Let's check some titles. Let's check some titles. Callaway men's golf shorts, size 34, gray performance, lightweight. So how I would title this exact item, and once again, Callaway men's golf shorts, personally, I would never list those on eBay unless it was new with tags. They're not going to sell very well on eBay, very saturated. I would put Callaway, probably because it's a golf item, I would put Callaway golf shorts because that's the most likely thing somebody would search to get some Callaway golf shorts. So I'd type in Callaway golf shorts men's 34. I would not type in size. I would just type in 34, save those characters for extra keywords. Callaway golf shorts men's 34 gray performance lightweight. I know personally because I am a little bit more focused on golf stuff or whatnot. I know those are Opti Dry shorts, so I put in Opti Dry, and then I would put in the inseam, which nobody can even tell the inseam in your listing because it's not in the measurement, it's not in the photos, um, it's not in the item specifics. So we're definitely leaving, like they have to guess on all that stuff. So that would deter me from buying. And then was it no returns as well? No return. So I don't have any information about the size. I don't have any information about the measurements, and I'm supposed to buy it and never return it. That just doesn't. To me, it makes sense that somebody wouldn't buy that personally, and it's not even really the best item to begin with. So listings and policies, I think that is going to be a. You did have item specifics. Your titles were okay. It's not how I would do the title. I'm going to say that's a 4. A 4 on the title. All right. Are we ready for the next one? Are you guys still with me here? All right. We got retro for Ohio. I'm just going to put retro. You guys still okay? Big John's with me. Big John's with me. All right. We got 420 listings and 450 sold. I'm very impressed with the sell through rates of my people. I'm very impressed, guys. Very impressed with the sell through rates. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of what 11 people have over 100%, like more sold than listed items. It's amazing. Good work, everybody. Just realized I've been staring at this LaCroix while I'm so thirsty, but I keep forgetting to take a drink. It's crazy. All right. New list. So we have new listings today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. On October 22nd, you went hard. Retro for Ohio. Okay, let's see if we have any. Oh, the 22nd. Are we still going? We're still going on the 22nd. Then we have the 21st. I'm going to stop counting. I'm just going to see if there's any days missed. Then we have the 20th, 19, a lot of listings up, 18, 17. Okay, I'm going to have to give this, from what I can see, a 10 on consistency. 10 on consistency so far. Retro for Ohio. 400 items store, and they had been doing that many listings. That's crazy, in my opinion. Okay, let's check for some bangers. We got a leather motorcycle jacket. Don't even know what that is. We got Ralph Lauren purple label corduroy pants, a Sit Good Gear jacket. We got the A2 Flight Bomber, the Marmot new with tags, Free People boots, Polo Ralph Lauren wool, What do you call that when it goes over like a cape? The cape shoulder? Might need to add that keyword. I've sold that brand of boots before, very good. Sugar Street Weavers cardigan, I've sold one of those before, very good. The Ultralight 850 down, very good line from LL Bean. New Inbox Merrells, vintage Quicksilver hoodie. These are very, very good items. Of course, these are the bangers, but these are very, very good items. So if they have 400 items, can I make this 100? We can make it 120. So the middle of their listings would be like here. This is like where the meat of their listings are. Okay, we're still in in like the 25 to 30 range. That's pretty good. Public Rec shorts, Spanx, New Tags Nike. I like this. I like these items. Let's go to newly listed and see what they listed like today and see how those items compare. Polo Ralph Lauren cords, Rag and Bone sneakers, Callaway training shorts, Levi's Orange Tab 560s, Allen Edmonds. So when I look at what they're listing right now, the quality seems to be a little bit lower. So of course those bangers are, raising the floor a little bit. We got some extra small. Okay, I think this is probably is it a 7 or an 8? Probably an 8. An 8 on item quality. What do we think? What do we think? Was that an 8 on item quality? Photo quality, I like these photos. Very similar to Yumbo's. I'm gonna have to dock 1 point because you can see like the edge on a lot of these pictures. Yepers, okay. But these are good photos. Like especially these ones on the little Lazy Susan with the shoes. Like I know that it's not as like clean as having just a solid background, but that's like a really efficient way to do that and still look really nice and clean. Like I said, the only thing I can dock for are those little edges where the board isn't fully in the frame, and that's just because the board is too small. So if you're making your photo board, if you make your board a little bit bigger, you're able to keep the edges of the board out a little bit easier. Some of mine do have that. Sometimes the item's just too big. So I understand, like it, you're still going to be doing really good with these photos. But I would say that has to be one below like me and Yumbo. So that's an 8. Listings and policies. Let's jump into this one right here. 30-day returns, buyer pays return shipping. That's totally fine. We got a cheap shipping option here. We're using the coupon, 16% off. It's a good job to use the coupon using eBay's tools. Very simple yet good description. We're using the item specifics. I'm not finding much to complain about on this one. 99.9 feedback. I think the only thing let's dissect some titles. Needs to know men's or women's in the title on that one. Vintage Levi's Orange Tab 560 jeans, loose fit, size at the end. Okay, I'm thinking maybe a 9 just from title perspective. I think the titles could be cleaned up just a little bit more. This could be like Land's End jacket, men's large, squall bomber, or men's large, navy, squall bomber, waterproof, windproof. You could clean up that title just a little bit on that one, for example. Same with this Vineyard Vines sweater, men's large, gray, quarter zip, tech, fleece, stretch, performance. I don't think it's lined. It just is a fleece sweatshirt. So I would take out lined, add in a better keyword. LG says, what about if I'm a slower sell-through rate, higher profit margin versus a high sell-through rate, lower profit margin because most of my items are not common? That's a totally fine sales method, but if you're not selling through your items quickly, you have to make up for that with very, very large sales. So I'm talking like $100, 75, maybe a $75 average sales price. I sell 13 to 20 items a day. My average sales price is $45 plus shipping. So to make up for that with just a few sales, you would have to have like probably like if you sold half the amount of items as me, you would have to be doubling my average sales price. So you'd have to be on average selling your items for $90. So I think a lot of times when people say that, um, they do list more rare items, but they still don't sell like enough of them to really uh, stay in business or to keep cash flow good. Because if you just stock up on listings and spend all the money on inventory but don't make sales, your cash flow runs out. So that's Surfs. Come hang out and we'll go together. Come hang out. Okay, listings and policies. I'm going to go to a 9 just for title retro. That is our second highest, well, third highest. Yumbo's number 1. I'm number 2. You're the third highest rated eBay store. Congratulations. All right, I got 18 minutes, so I got to keep going here. All right, we got Leany. Leany, Leany. All right, 212 items. How many sold? 145. So that's like a 75%. So we're going to go with 7. 7. It's a little bit lower than 75% because 150 to 200 be 75%. All right. Let's check the consistency. Cheers. We got listings up today. That's a plus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, then a week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so lower store size and then tons of listings on the days that they list, but not listings on every single day. This tells me this is a part-time seller that just gets in the listings when they can, which is totally fine. That's totally like I'm just rating the eBay stores based on my own criteria here. Nothing wrong with this business model. Um, what I would recommend to somebody is even if you're small and part-time, create a daily listing goal. And then if you're going to batch all your listings on one day, then just schedule it out to hit your listing goal every single day. So instead of doing 20 listings on one day and then none for a week, I would recommend doing 21 listings one day, scheduling 3 out for 7 days, 3 per day. So 21 and have your whole week scheduled out, and then just keep adding to your draft bank as you can list more. And when you can afford in your draft bank and in your sourcing strategy to increase that number, that's when you increase your daily listing goal. It doesn't, it's not an algorithm hack. It's just, it helps you have a metric to stay accountable to yourself because you can only control what you can control. You can only list what you can list. You can only, like, you can't make somebody buy your item. All you can do is try to find better items and be consistent and use the tools that eBay gives you. That's how we succeed out here. So anyway, consistency score. You're part time, so I can't knock you too hard. You have days where you do a lot of listings. I'm going to go with a 7. It's not, ultra consistent, but you seem to be consistent enough for what you're doing as a part time seller. Item quality. We got a cool Indians jacket. Some vintage thermal, vintage Ford. So lots of t-shirts. We got a Patagonia Cinchilla. Lots of vintage stuff. So this might be another person that's like a primarily vintage seller. That one's like paper thin. Oh yeah, you have paper thin in there. I was gonna say it's a good keyword when you can like see through the shirt like that. Definitely have some bangers as well. That's great. Let's sort high to low. Okay. We do have some bangers in there for sure. We have some bangers, and let's go all the way to the bottom. Are we still on? Okay, let's go to like this page. Let's see what like is the mid level. Okay, if you're 3/4 way through your store, it's still at $30. You probably have a pretty good average sales price. I want to see what's on this page. So we have like 60 items that are all from like 50 to 30 bucks. That's a pretty good chunk of the store in that nice bread and butter range with healthy margins. So that's pretty good. I would say it's a little bit lower than what we just saw, so like a 7. Photo quality, I think this is the same carpet that I use, but I can see this one has a little bit of yellow tone. This one has a little bit of a brown tone. This one looks more true. This one's not 1-to-1 aspect ratio. This one's very, very yellowish brown. This one looks true to color. This one looks true to color, but it's brighter. So those are the things that I would nitpick on photos. This to me looks just like it's kind of hard to see what's going on. I would probably zoom out just a little bit so that you can see that it's a t-shirt. So one little hack is that if you leave the photo so you can see this edge on the shirt, it kind of helps your mind psychologically fill in that this is a short sleeve shirt. It's kind of hard to explain. Let me know in the comments or in the chat right now if what I'm saying makes sense. But like when you take this zoomed in photo, maybe I should go to one of my own um, photos to see what to show you what I mean. Am I making sense? Let's go here. Let me find a good example here. Well, this isn't the best example, but I'm just going to show this so that I'm not just scrolling here forever. But because you can see the edge of this sleeve, like it categorizes it in your mind that's a short sleeve t-shirt because our brain is so good at filling in the missing information. So if I were to zoom in a little bit on that shirt, but you could still see that edge, your brain could tell you this is a short sleeve t-shirt. But my complaint with this picture specifically is that you don't see that edge. So it could be a long sleeve t-shirt, it could be a sweatshirt. It's just doesn't give enough information that your brain can fully piece together what that item is. Maybe I'm over analyzing it. That's my personal opinion. And once again, you can see the difference in the color. On this side, your color is true, looks gray. On this side, it looks yellowed. So this color is not true. So we're on photo quality. The photos are definitely not bad, but see, we have non 1-to-1. So this is not the right aspect ratio. This one's very yellowed and brown. This one's very yellowed and brown. This one's very yellowed and brown. Whereas this one, the color is accurate. So I'm going to give the photos a 6. And let's see the listing. No returns, very fair shipping. I'm at 650 for shipping. I said 695 before. So 650 to 695, that's fair enough. Um, Putting dashes in the item specifics, I would not recommend. If you don't have something to put in the item specifics, leave it blank because you're just creating more clutter for the buyers to see right down here. I don't mind this very simple description, no docking for that. A couple of the item specifics are filled out, but I feel like the item specifics could have been done in a cleaner way. Let's check titles. Sports stuff, titles can be a little funky. Let's find something that I would list. Vintage 90s LL Bean Stonewash taper high waist women's jeans. So I like the keywords that you have in here, but I would restructure the title so that we have vintage. I write out vintage in my title personally. I put VTG in the theme because I think it's more likely that somebody would type in vintage rather than put VTG, even though visually when you see VTG, you know it means vintage, but what is somebody more likely to type in my opinion, it's typing out the word vintage. So I put vintage typed out in my title. These little nuances, we're diving deep here. vintage LL Bean jeans, women's 26 by 29, and then I would get all those keywords in there. So I got to dock a little bit for the title structure. I'm seeing that kind of throughout, not a title structure I would necessarily recommend on some of these things. So we had no returns. What else was I talking about? No returns. Titles need a little bit of work. I think the item specifics need a little bit of work, but I'm glad that you're doing them and I like your description. I think this is a 7. All right, on to the next one. All right, learning to resell. All right, we have 201 items and 143 sold. So that is like a 7 on sell through rate, similar to the last one. This is learn. Consistency, let's check it out. October 18th, so nothing in the last week. We have one listing on the 18th, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 15th, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 14th, then almost back a whole month to the 20th. 1, then 1, then 1, then 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 1. Skip a few days. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1. Skip a week. Okay, so consistency score is going to be pretty low. So learning to resell. This is going to be your biggest area of improvement is the consistency score. I think this is going to be a 3 on the consistency score, only because from your last listing, there was only one done, and it was a week ago, and then we were already off to the inconsistencies right off the bat. Item quality, we got Nuitags, Lululemon. Those are great items. We'll get to the photo quality. I see definitely room for improvement in the photo quality. Once we get after these Nuitags, Lululemon items, we're back down to some more, probably your typical item. Levi's pants, not the best. Nike shorts, pretty basic. Got some good pieces there. Lululemon shorts, Hager dress pants. I mean, I'd pick those up if they were cheap, but I'm not really calling that a great item personally. Some Nuitags polo stuff, J. Crew corduroys, I do pick those up. I'm thinking this is like, I want to check the bangers before I fully rate it, but I think this is going to be like, it's either a 6 or it's either, I think it's going to be a 6. I think it's going to be a 6. Okay, and not too many like huge bangers. Obviously, some really good stuff mixed in there. I mean, Nuitags, Lululemon, that's always going to be a decent seller. I think that's going to be. Is it a 5 or a 6 in the item quality? I'm gonna go with 6. I mean, you got Nuitags, Lululemon. I can't knock you too hard for that. And you have some pretty good sold items here too. Some pretty good sold items there. Photo quality, this is where we can improve a lot with the photo quality, in my opinion. Clothing Barn, I took a poll or I asked on Instagram for people to send me their stores. I'm not going to get to even all of the Instagram requests today. So if you guys want to see me do this again, make sure you leave a like on the video. Come back once it's posted as a video. Come say what's up in the comments. Say you want to see this video, this type of video again, and message me on Instagram with your store and say you want me to review your store. If you guys like this format, I'll keep making the eBay store scorecard. If you guys want to keep seeing it. If you don't want to see it, I'm not going to bore you guys to death, but I don't mind doing this. This is fun. I like to help people. Hopefully you guys, that if your store is reviewed, you do find some little things that you can learn along the way. All right, for photo quality, let's take this Lululemon dress, for example. White just is hard to make look good. So I would recommend getting a gray background. That would be my biggest recommendation. This, it's kind of hard to see the full scope of what the item is. I would personally not put it on this side, but I would flip it to the side where it says Lululemon, the tag. On new tags items, I want the brand to be very visible. And then take a closer up picture like you did right here. But I would start the main photo with being the Lululemon tag side up. On a dress, you want to take a picture that shows the full image of the dress, in my opinion. Um, Something more like this. But this, it's kind of crooked. You can kind of see a little bit of the edge of the photo table there. And also it's like the right side is kind of dark, the left side is kind of light, and the color just seems a bit dingy. And that's going to be very common with white background. So I recommend gray background. It looks like you need more light overall and less like ring light spotlight, but more just like overall light in the room, or maybe some like soft box lights. What I have in my garage is I have like the daylight white lights all throughout the garage, like shop lights, and then I have photo lights to really um, brighten my actual photo area. But the general lighting in the room is already good to begin with, and I think that you just need a lot of light for a good photo. So the photos definitely need a lot of work here, in my opinion. I think the photos, this is going to be um, a 4 on the photos. A 4 on the photos. So we got to clean up those photos, get the colors more true. And listing, Lululemon shirt, men's, medium, Evolution short sleeve polo, nautical navy, stretch, new tags. I like that title, actually. I like it a lot. We have free returns, very affordable shipping. So I like all those things. Very simple description. I think we're missing some potential in the item specifics here. So need item specific work. I'm going to go with an 8 because you need more item specifics. But otherwise, I really liked your titles. I liked your that you offer returns. I liked your shipping price and your overall listing. Your descriptions, everything was good. But we need more item specifics because that's how people are going to find that item. All right, I have time for one more. One more. And we're going to go fast. One more and we're going to go fast. Okay, this is BT. BT listings. Oh, we got a different type of photo to review here. Different type of photo to review. 553 items. 164 sold. So that'd be like, is that like a 3 in sell through rate? I think it's like a 3 in sell through rate. Consistency. So today's the 24th. We do have listings today. That's great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We did 16. Andrew, what was your store name? This will be posted as a replay, so you can go back and watch it if I got to it. If I didn't get to it, I'll have to just do another episode. Okay, so it looks like listings are pretty consistent. I'm just going to scroll back and see if there's any missed days. We got the 21st, we got the 20th, the 19th, 18. Oh, I'm glad we scrolled back. We got a big chunk here from the 18th to the 13th, so we missed 5 days. Then we have the 13th, the 12th, the 11th, the 10th, the 9th. Okay, so I'm going to give this an 8 in consistency. We missed a big chunk there, but it seems like overall BT is pretty consistent. Now we're looking at item quality. Like I said, I got to go fast here. Let's go check out some bangers. Never even heard of that brand, but looks expensive. Or LeBar Brown, that's an amazing brand. Looks like we definitely have some bangers in here. 511 Tactical have some expensive jackets for sure. Brunt, I didn't feel like those were that expensive last time I looked it up, but maybe this is like a good model. LL Bean Down Parka. Diesel, Nuitags, Robert Graham. Definitely got some goodies in here for sure. Looks like $60. There you have a good amount of items in that $50 to $60 range, which is good. Let's go to like halfway through your store, a little bit more, see what we're down to. Okay, we're still in the 20s. That's respectable. This is probably a good grasp of what your like bread and butter is. We got some Wranglers, some Polar Ralph Lauren, LL Bean, Chamois, Brooks Brothers, 511 Tactical, Bird Dogs. Okay, this looks very similar to some like stuff that I would source. Let's go a little bit more and see. So a lot in that $20 to $30 range. So it looks like we're missing like that, what I would call like an elevated bread and butter, like that $30 to $60 range. That is where I make like the most of my money is like that $30 to $60 range. So I think this is going to be a little bit lower, but overall pretty good. So now we got to figure out why the sell through rate is so low with these decent items. So let's figure that out. Item quality, I think that's going to be 7 or 8. I'm going to go with 7. I'm going to go with 7. Photos, I personally like the wood background a lot, but I wonder if it is a little bit distracting in the photo. Like I am a creative person. I like it, but I wonder if it is just slightly distracting, and that might be part of the reason for a little bit of the slower sales. Let's look at this Tommy Bahama shirt. I like that you put the back first because that is the primary feature of this. So definitely going to be bonus points for that. Did get one blurry photo in there. It happens, but okay, right here, another thing with not having a gray background, it's going to be hard to manage that color. So look at what the blue color looks like in this picture and then in this picture. This is like a dark, deep, almost a royal blue, and this is like a light teal, faded blue. So the blue color is not consistent throughout all the pictures because the lighting's not, or the photo is not capturing the color correctly because it does not have a gray background to balance that color. Sorry, this is nerdy stuff, but that's what we're going off of here. So I think the photos, um, it's like a 6.5. I'm gonna go with 6. It just needs cleaned up a little bit. I personally like the wood, but I think for eBay, you'd be better off going with a gray background. What would a score with an 18% sell-through rate store like a 2? Yeah, North Bay. Okay, listing details. We have no returns, a little bit high on the shipping because that should be like a max, it would cost you $7. No item specifics and no description other than just copying and pasting the title. So my initial instinct is for listings and policies, this is going to be like a 6. But let's dive in a little bit more and see if I am running behind. I really got to get off here, but I'm going to try to figure out if we can see if we can figure out why the sell-through rate is so low on these items. What score do we give the items? A 7? Okay, let's take a look here. Or sorted highest. Let's go to newly listed. Peter Millar Summer Comfort. LL Bean with mismatched measurements, Under Armour Storm Joggers, Wrangler ATGs. Those can sell fast, but not for much money. Bird Dogs hemmed up to 26. That's going to be a tough sell. Cinch jeans are a bit slower seller these days. I don't know where you're located, but I see some like more summery items. So I wonder if the seasonality is kind of hitting you with the slower sales. Roan is a good item. Fat Face, I've had a hard time selling that brand the once or twice I've picked it up. Dickies is not that great of a brand, so I might need to dock the items a little bit because I think that's probably contributing to your lower sell-through rate. So on some of these items, I would recommend I would probably recommend lowering the price on some of these items if you're having a hard time getting them to move. Bonobos isn't a brand I really pick up other than blazers. Let's look at your sold items and see what is actually selling for you. So it looks like your good items are selling, but those like so most of your items were listed between 20 and $30. So this will be insightful for everybody. Most of them were listed between 20 and $30. If you look at what's selling in your store, it's the items that are for more than $30 is what's selling. Almost all those items are more than $30. So your bread and butter items are not as high quality or as good or maybe listed as well as some of these better items that sell for more money because you're able to sell these better items way faster. So I think your judgment in the thrift store when you're picking up those bread and butter items might need to be a little bit better, like making sure there's no flaws, making sure that they're not hemmed up. Fixing those little things will probably increase your sell-through rate on those mid bread and butter items. If I had to guess, taking a quick glance, that's what I'm seeing. Um, you know, that's my best guess. Andrew, I sure appreciate it. Thanks for sending me your store. If you sent me your store on Instagram, I didn't get to it, or you're here live and you want me to check out your store, if you guys want to see another episode of this series, hit the like button. Come back when the video posts as a regular video, put in the comments, hey, I want to see more of this. And if you're here watching the replay and you stayed all 2 hours and 6 minutes, well, you're a real one. So thank you guys so much. I will talk to you guys soon. Hey, that was a lot of fun. If I reviewed your store, I hope you found it helpful. And let's take a little peek at the scorecard before we go here. Yumbo comes in the lead with a 9.9. I don't know if anybody's going to dethrone him. I ranked myself a 9.6. And we did have another 9, some 8s, and then we had some people in the 5s. Definitely a lot of room for improvement with these people, but hey, that's what we're here to do, is point those people in the right direction. Hope you guys found some value in this video. Peace out. We'll talk soon.